हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, कैसे हैं आप लोग? फाइन. ओके. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द लेसन फ्रॉम द डायरी ऑफ एन फ्रैंक. Before we start the lesson, I would like to tell you about Anne Frank. She is an authoress. She is a Jewish girl. It means she was a girl where in German. Okay, and she started writing at a very early age when when she was 13 years old. And how did she start writing? She started writing not as a letter or as a story or an essay, but she started writing as she used to start writing in diary. And the people who have the habit of writing diary, do you know what do they do? I tell you, the people who keep diary write each and everything that happen in their life in their diary. It becomes their daily routine. And daily, generally in the evening, they used to write what happened throughout the day with them. With whom did they meet? Did they study? What did they talk? What did they feel? What did they get? Each and everything is written in the diary. And generally, when they grow up, some of them keep their diaries with them and some forget about it if they start writing in the childhood as Anne Frank started. Now, why did Anne Frank write diary? Why did she start writing the diary is a very uncommon reason. She didn't start writing because she was fond of writing, but the reason was something other than it. And can you think that a girl who is 13 years old has a very big family, have loving parents, and is a student of a school? If a student of school, it means a large number of same age students with her. So Anne Frank was the same, but still she felt that she was alone and she had no friend to share her things with anybody. So she started writing a diary. So let's read the chapter. Yes, writing in a diary is a really strange experience for someone like me. Yes, writing in a diary is a really strange experience for someone like me, not only because I have never written anything before, but also because it seems to me the later on neither I nor anyone else will be interested in the musings of a 13-year-old schoolgirl. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I feel like writing and I have an even greater need to get all kind of things off my chest. As I told you, this is the things that she is saying. She says that writing in a diary is a really strange experience for me because she says that before that I have not written anything. This one be the reason, but the other reason is that no one will feel, no one will trust when later on read this diary that because I am 13-year-old so and a schoolgirl, so no one will believe that I feel like writing a diary because I want to get all kind of things off my chest. Kinds of thing off my chest means she feels the burden in her chest because she cannot share her things with anybody. So, because she wants to share her things with anybody, so she started writing a diary. It means she started sharing her things, her feelings with the diary. Paper has more patience than people. I thought of this saying on one of those days when I was feeling a little depressed and was sitting at home with my chin in my hand, bored and listless. Chin in my hand, जैसे आप बैठ जाते हो बिल्कुल खाली जब कोई काम नहीं होता करने के लिए. Wondering whether to stay in or go out. I finally stayed where I was brooming. Yes, people does have more patience, and since I'm not planning to let anyone else read this stiff baked notebook grandly referred to as diary, unless I should ever find a real friend, it probably won't make a bit of difference. Now there is one thing, stiffed baked notebook. What is this stiffed baked notebook? This she is saying to the diary because its covers are hard. तो क्या कहती है वो कि stiff baked notebook. I am starting writing, but before starting writing, she feels why to write. She says that paper has more patience than people. Do you believe in this thing that paper has more patience than people? Can paper be compared to people? Yes, Anne Frank compares. And how? She says that if we want to say anything to paper, how do we say anything to paper? By writing on it. If we write anything on paper, it may be right, it may be wrong, it may be of any kind, and the paper will never respond because it has more patience. But suppose if we tell our things to some person, and suppose if he or she doesn't like our things, he or she will definitely respond. He or she may tell us the wrong person, but because the paper does not respond, the second thing, that the paper never tells our things to the third person. That is why she says that paper has more patience than people. So she thought of writing a diary, but she thought that I will not let anybody read my diary unless I find a real friend. And when I find a real friend, then only I will allow that real friend to read my diary. Now I'm back to the point that prompted me to keep a diary in the first place. I don't have a friend. Again, she comes to the point that why she started writing a diary, why she felt like writing a diary. She says that I felt like writing because I didn't have a friend. Let me put it more clearly. Since no one believed that a 13-year-old girl is completely alone in the world, and I'm not. I have loving parents and a 16-year-old sister, and there are about 30 people I can call friends. I have a family, loving aunts, and a good home. No, on the surface, I seem to have everything except my one true friend. All I think about when I am with friends is having a good time. I can't bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary everyday things. We don't seem to be able to get any closer, and that is the problem. Maybe it's my fault that we don't confide in each other. In any case, that is just how things are, and unfortunately, they are not liable to change. This is why I have started the diary. Now, she says that the reason why I started writing the diary is that I am all alone. I don't have any friend. Then she says, let me put it more clearly. She wants to tell it clearly because you will even not believe that she is a lonely girl. She says that I am a 13-year-old girl and completely alone in the world. She says I am completely alone in the world. Then she says I am not. पहले वो कहती है कि मैं 13 साल की लड़की दुनिया में बिल्कुल अकेली हूँ, एंड देन शी सेज आई एम नॉट, कि नहीं मैं अकेली नहीं हूँ. देन शी टेल्स who people are along with him. She says she has loving parents and a 16-year-old sister and about 30 people whom she can call the friends. And who are those 30 people? They are her classmates. Then she says I have a family. And who people are in the family? Loving aunts and a good home is there. So she says that on the surface I seem to have everything except my one true friend. She says because I have parents, I have one sister, I have loving aunts. So, on the surface, if someone looks, I don't seem to be lonely. But she says I am lonely because I don't have a true friend. All I think about when I am with friends is having a good time. She says the classmates. When I am with my classmates, then it is a very good time and I can bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary everyday things. She says that I can discuss all the things with my classmates, but these things are ordinary things because I am not close to any of the classmates, and perhaps this is my fault that I cannot confide in each other, that I and the other girls cannot confide. Confide means to have confidence in each other, that our things will not be shared further. So she says that this is the only thing, that because like I felt that there is the shortcoming, there is the shortage of one real friend, one good friend. That is why I started writing the diary. To enhance the image of this long awaited friend in my imagination, I don't want to jot down the facts in this diary the way most people would do, but I want the diary to be my friend, and I am going to call this friend Kitty. She says, I will not start writing the diary as the other people do. They only take the diary and they only start writing what happened during the day. But she says, I will not do this way because I will call this diary my friend. I will treat this diary just like my friend, and even I will give this diary a name, and the name will be Kitty. Then she says, since no one would understand a word of my stories to Kitty if I were to plunge right in, I'd better provide a brief sketch of my life, much as I dislike doing so. She says that because if I start straightforward writing, then no one will understand and no one will believe my stories that I write in Kitty, that I write in the diary. So before that, I want to give an introduction, and in introduction, I want to tell you about something about my life. Although I don't like to share the things of my family with others, still, because I want people to understand my stories in Kitty, so I want to give a brief sketch of my family. My father, the most adorable father I have ever seen, didn't marry my mother until he was 36 and she was 25. My sister Margaret was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926. I was born on 12th June 1929. I lived in Frankfurt until I was 4. My father emigrated to Holland in 1933. My mother, Edith Hollander Frank, went with him to Holland in September, while Margaret and I were sent to Aachen to stay with grandmother. Margaret went to Holland in December and I followed in February, when I was plunked down on the table as a birthday present for Margaret. What is the meaning of plunked down? Plunked down is put. So, in this passage, she tells about her family. She says that my father is the most adorable. Adorable means loving. That her father is the most loving father, and then she tells about her mother as well. She says that my parents married when my father was 36 and my mother was 25 years of age. Then she says that my sister Margaret, the name of the sister is Margaret, and Margaret was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926. And then she says that she herself was born in 12th June 1929, and she says that in my childhood I lived in Frankfurt till I was 4 years old, and then her father emigrated to Holland in 1933, and her mother's name is Edith Hollander Frank. She also went with the father in September, but she and her sister Margaret were left with the grandmother in Aachen. So after that, Margaret went to Holland in December and I followed in February. So, and when I was plunked down on the table as a birthday present for Margaret, it means we both sisters were far away. Margaret was along with parents and I was along with grandmother. But on Margaret's birthday, I was sent there, and that is why she says that I was plunked down on the table as the birthday present for Margaret. Then she says, I started right away at the Montessori school, nursery school. I stayed there until I was 6, at which time I started in the first form. In the sixth form, my teacher was Mrs. Couperus, the headmistress. At the end of the year, we were both in tears as we said a heartbreaking farewell. She says that I started my studies at the Montessori nursery school and I stayed there in the school till I was in first standard and 6 years old. Then she says, in the sixth form, it means when she was in sixth class, she was very much attached to her teacher. Her teacher was the headmistress as well, and the name was Mrs. Couperus. She says that we both were in tears because we were parting. Now I was going from there, I was leaving the school, so I was crying the same way my teacher was also crying. In the summer of 1941, Grandma fell ill and had to have an operation. So my birthday passed with little celebrations. He said, because in 1941, Grandma fell ill, and that is why the parents were busy with her, because an operation was to be done to Grandma. That is why my birthday was not celebrated. Then she says, Grandma died in January 1942. No one knows how often I think of her and still love her. This birthday celebration in 1942 was intended to make up for the other, and Grandma's candle was lit along with the rest. The four of us are still doing well, and that brings me to the present date of 20th June 1942 and the solemn dedication of my diary. She says that because Grandma was ill since 1941, so she died in 1942, and after that my birthday that came in 1942 was celebrated, and a candle in the grandmother's name was also put on the cake along with the other candles, and no one knows that still I love my grandmother by now. Then she says that the four of us, who are the four, the parents and both the sisters, she says that both are doing well, it means both are quite well, and that is the day of 20th June 1942 when she is writing the diary, and she says that on this day I dedicate myself to my diary. Now, what does she write in diary? She is writing, Dearest Kitty. You know who is Kitty? Kitty is the name of the diary. Dearest Kitty, our entire class is quacking in its boots. Quacking in its boots means fearing. The reason, of course, is the forthcoming meeting in which the teachers decide who will move up to the next form and who will be kept back. Next form means who will be passed, and kept back means who will be failed. Half the class is making bets. GN and I laugh ourselves silly at the two boys behind us, CN and Jax. These are the names of the two boys, CN and Jax, who have staked their entire holiday saving on their bet. From morning to night, it's you are going to pass, no I'm not, yes you are, no I'm not. Even G's pleading glances and my angry outburst can't calm them down. If you ask me, there are so many dummies that about a quarter of the class should be kept back. But teachers are the most unpredictable creatures on earth. Unpredictable creatures means nothing can be predicted, nothing can be said in advance about the teachers. Why? Because they are waiting for the result, and they say that nothing can be said, the teachers will pass some students and some will be kept back in the same class. So this is the day when their result is to be declared, and the whole class is fearing about the result. And she says that there are two boys who are making bets. One says that you will pass, and the other one says no, I will not. And the joking thing is that they have spent their whole holidays making these beds. But if asked from Anne Frank, she says that there are so many dummies in the class. Dummies means डमी क्या होता है? पुतले को कहते हैं. आप जाते हैं ना शॉप में ड्रेस लेने के लिए जाते हैं, जिस स्टैचू को ड्रेस पहना रखी होती है जो केवल दिखाने के लिए होता है, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड डमी. सो शी सेज देयर आर सो मैनी डमीज इन क्लास that they should be kept back. About a quarter of the class, it means 1/4 of the students in the class are dummies. They are just to be shown that they are the students. They do not study, so they should be kept back. But she says that nothing can be said because the teachers are unpredictable creature. We cannot say about the teachers. Do you also think these things? Oh, कहते तो होंगे. Okay, I'm not so worried about my girlfriends and myself. We'll make it. The only subject I'm not sure about is maths. Anyway, all we can do is wait. Until then, we keep telling each other not to lose heart. She says about the other students, she says that the 1/4 of the students are dummies. But she says about herself and her girlfriends, she says we'll keep it up, we'll make up, that we'll pass. The only subject she is afraid is the maths. She says, although I am afraid of maths, but still I hope that I will pass. But by the time the result comes, we should not lose heart. I get along pretty well with my teachers. There are 9 of them, 7 men and 2 women. Mr. Keesing, the old Fauji who teaches maths, was annoyed with me for ages because I talked so much. After several warnings, he assigned me extra homework, an essay on the subject, a chatterbox. A chatterbox? What can you write about that? I'd worry about that later, I decided. I jotted down the title in my notebook, tucked it in my bag and tried to keep quiet. Jotted means wrote down. Yes. She says that all my teachers, then first she says that there are 9 teachers who teach me, and out of them 7 are men and 2 are women, and I am in good books of all the teachers except the maths teacher, Mr. Keesing. She says Mr. Keesing is annoyed because I talk too much in the class, and after giving a lot of warnings I couldn't correct myself, so she gave me an extra homework. And what was the extra homework? I was to write an essay on the subject, a chatterbox. Chatterbox क्या होता है? बातूनी डिब्बा, यानी जो हमेशा बोलता रहे, कुछ ऐसा बॉक्स. So she says what can be written about this? But when I started doing the homework, I remembered that I was assigned an extra homework. So I wrote the title on the paper and kept it in my bag. And then I decided that now onwards I will keep quiet in the class. That evening, after I had finished the rest of my homework, the note about the essay caught my eye. I began thinking about the subject while chewing the tip of my fountain pen. Anyone could ramble on and leave big spaces between the words, but the trick was to come up with convincing arguments to prove the necessity of talking. I thought, and suddenly I had an idea. I wrote the 3 pages Mr. Keesing had assigned me and was satisfied. I argued that talking is a student state and that I would do it in my best to keep it under control. So she was given the extra homework, and the extra homework was to write an essay on the chatterbox. Now, after finishing the homework, she remembered that she was given the extra homework to write an essay on the chatterbox. Then she says, if an other student had been on my place, she or he would not have written. But I thought I will write. So I started writing and completed the essay in 3 pages. And what did she wrote? What did she write? She says, I wrote all the things why talking is necessary. And I said that talking is a student state, कि बोलना तो एक विद्यार्थी का गुण है. This way I argued, and still I promised that I will keep this trait under my control. उसने प्रूव तो कर दिया कि बोलना ज़रूरी है, लेकिन फिर भी उसने ये कह दिया कि ठीक है, मैं फिर भी अपने इस गुण को अपने अंडर कंट्रोल रखने की कोशिश करूँगी. But that I would never be able to cure myself of the habit since my mother talked as much as I did, if not more, and there is not much you can do about inherited traits. उसने ये तो कहा कि मैं इसको कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश करूँगी, ये गुण है विद्यार्थियों का, लेकिन उसने ये भी कह दिया कि आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू क्योर इट कम्प्लीटली, कि मैं इसका इलाज पूरी तरह से नहीं कर सकूँगी. बिकॉज उसका रीज़न उसने क्या दिया, माई मदर टॉक्ड एज मच एज आई डिड इफ़ नॉट मोर. शी सेड दैट बिकॉज माई मदर टॉक्स एंड शी ऑल्सो टॉक्स टू मच, दैट इज़ वाई परहैप्स दैट I have the habit of talking, and because this is the inherited trait, I have got this inheritance from my mother, so nothing can be done. Mr. Keesing had a good laugh at my arguments, but when I proceeded to talk my way through the next lesson, he assigned me a second essay. This time it was supposed to be on an incorrigible chatterbox. I handed it in, and Mr. Keesing had nothing to complain about for 2 whole lessons. However, during the third lesson, he would finally had enough, and Frank, as punishment for talking in class, write an essay entitled "Quack, Quack, Quack," said Mistress Chatterbox. Now, after this writing this essay, she kept control for some time, but in the next lesson, she again started talking, and again Mr. Keesing gave her an essay, and it was an incorrigible chatterbox. Now, she kept the essay, and for next 2 lessons, she didn't talk. But after 2 lessons, in the third lesson, she again started talking, and Mr. Keesing had to give her an extra work as a punishment. And what was the punishment? That she was entitled to write an essay, and the title of the essay was "Quack, Quack, Quack," said Mistress Chatterbox. This was the essay she was to write. The class roared. I had to laugh too, though I had nearly exhausted my ingenuity on the topic of chatterboxes. It was time to come up with something else, something original. My friend Sane, who is good at poetry, offered to help me write the essay from beginning to end in verse, and I jumped for joy. Mr. Keesing was trying to play a joke on me with this ridiculous subject, but I'd make sure the joke was on him. Now, when the topic was told, what was the topic? Quack, 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 said Mistress Chatterbox. When this topic was given, the whole class laughed, and she also laughed. But she was to write, and now she felt that she had written everything earlier 2 times, whatever she could write about the talking trait. So she was worried this time, but her friend Sane, she was good at poetry and offered to write the essay completely in the verse form. So she thought that because Mr. Keesing was trying to play a joke on her with this ridiculous subject, but she wrote the essay in such a way that the joke was made on the teacher. I finished my poem, and it was beautiful. It was about a mother duck and a father swan with 3 baby ducklings who were bitten to death by the father because they quacked too much. Now, what did she write? She wrote the poem, and in the poem, she wrote that there was a mother duck and a father swan, and they had 3 ducklings. And the father, means the swan, beat the ducklings to death. Why? Because they quacked too much. This was the poem that she wrote. Luckily, Mr. Keesing took the joke the right way. But Mr. Keesing read the poem, and she took it as a joke only. He didn't take it the other way. He read the poem to the class, adding his own comments, and to several other classes as well. Since then, I have been allowed to talk and haven't been assigned any extra homework. On the contrary, Mr. Keesing is always making jokes these days. Mr. Keesing, when saw the poem, she read the poem to the class. Not only to this class, but to some other classes also, and he added his own comments also. And she says, after that, I am allowed to talk in the class, and since then, I am not assigned any extra work. Now, this was the diary. This was something from the diary that Anne wrote. And Anne's full name is Anne Frank. So she became a good authoress later on, and she wrote a large number of things. But in your syllabus only this much is given, and extract from the diary of a young girl with slight adaptation. It means the diary of a young girl is the complete, I tell you, it is a novel, the diary of a young girl, and this lesson is an extract from the diary. Okay, I hope you understand it. Still you feel any doubt, don't hesitate to ask me. Okay, thank you, be safe.